So I thought it was time to really dig into what we mean when we say go get a pre-approval. When you talk to a mortgage broker, what's that going to look like? And one thing I've heard a lot of people say over the years is, well, like, I can't believe how much stuff they're asking me for. You know, they want documents after documents after documents. But here's the thing, the bank is not in the business of foreclosing on and owning houses. They don't want to have to take over the house because you couldn't make your mortgage payments somewhere down the road. They need to know that you can sustain and service that mortgage for a very long time. So how do they verify that? And I've always said there's this false belief out there in consumer land that if the bank knows you, if I've been at the bank for many, many years, I got all my accounts there, I can just go get a mortgage. I'm sort of automatically pre-approved because I'm on the good guy list. And you know, my in-laws are farmers, and at one time, that's kind of how it worked. You kind of walked into your local branch and you've been dealing with John, and your dad dealt with John, and your grandpa maybe dealt with John's dad, and they all knew you, and you could get a loan for a tractor. It's just not like that now. We live in a global economy. The banks are large, national, sometimes multinational entities, and everybody's buying a home. I mean, more people want to or own a home than not. So not to like say we have to, have sympathy for a bank, but look at it from the lender's point of view. They're providing hundreds of thousands of dollars on loan for you to go buy a home and hoping that you make your mortgage payments on time for years on end until you pay off the home. Okay? So they kind of need something to go on, and the people underwriting your mortgage loan at the bank don't know you anymore. Even in a town the size of Lethbridge, 100,000 people, you might know the lady that you deal with at your local branch, but she's not in control of the underwriting for that mortgage. Someone in Toronto or Vancouver is in control of that, or maybe Calgary. So they need to verify that you can actually service the mortgage. So what do you need for pre-approval? There's kind of 4 ingredients that we look at, or 4 buckets of information that we need to look at to determine that you're able to get a loan and pay it off. And here are the four main pieces of it. We want to know your income. How much money do you make, whether you're self-employed, which can be more challenging, or you have a traditional job, or maybe you have 3 jobs. We need to look at your income and the steady stream of income, right? Preferably you have some reliable income coming in every month. We also need to look at your equity, also known as your down payment. So I call that skin in the game, right? How much money do you have saved up to put toward the house? That's the amount of the value of the house that will actually be yours. The rest you have to borrow from the bank. And number 3 is credit. So you will have to have your credit bureau looked at, and how much debt are you servicing? Credit cards, you bought some furniture at the brick and you got to pay that off every month. A vehicle that you're paying off, I find vehicles tend to be a big chunk of that liability every month for people. Don't go buy an $80,000 truck if you want to get a mortgage. Just like pro tip for you there. And then number 4, which a lot of people don't realize is part of this overall pre-approval process, is what kind of property are you buying? Are you buying a rental property? Are you buying a property that will be your primary residence? Are you buying a vacation property? Are you buying a condo for your kids? and they're going to have 2 roommates, you know, the type of property matters because that's the bank's security for the mortgage loan. That's why it's called a mortgage, because we're using real property to secure the loan. So if something goes bad, the bank at least has an asset of value that they can take back. But again, they don't want to. So I'm really simplifying, but those are the 4 things we look at when we're pre-approving you and deciding what you can afford. And then from there, we look at ratios, and that'll be another video. But income, down payment, your credit worthiness, are you paying off your debts? How big are those debts? And then what kind of property do you want to buy? And yeah, it's a lot. I mean, people don't really think about these things that often, but you know, we'll want to see your notice of assessment, because you can say I make this much money, but what's it actually showing on your tax return? What does it say on your bank statements? You know, maybe if you're self-employed, we have to verify your income a different way. Can you get a job letter? How long have you been with your employer? Are you still in the probationary period? I mean, you can tell us some information, but we prefer to have documents when we're doing that pre-approval, because then later there aren't any surprises. The more information you can give us, the smarter advice we can give you so that you can be more confident when you go shopping for a home. So that's the mortgage broker version of a pre-approval lecture. More to come on that in future Friday Fire videos. I'm big on pre-approvals because I was in real estate for 10 years, and I know the heartache and stress it causes when you don't have your ducks in order with the bank. And there's a lot of ducks. So yeah, we're gonna ask you for everything but your firstborn and a DNA sample. And someday they might even ask for that. So if you have questions about a pre-approval and more detail about how to get that process started and how that looks on paper, you can call or text 382-7335 or look me up at karriflatla.com. In the meantime, I think we're really here for summer. Like, I think it's here. I hope that didn't jinx anything by me saying that, but I think it's actually warm out now. Like, the trees there's blossoms on the trees. So get outside this weekend. Follow the battle for Alberta. I think that's still going on. I'm not a big hockey fan. And yeah, we'll see you for next Friday Fire. Take care and have an awesome Friday night. Bye-bye.